There was also one for this man, a 98-year-old Ukrainian Canadian who fought for Ukrainian independence against the Russians during the Second World War.
So last Friday, we got to see Volodymyr Zelensky make his way over to the Canadian House of Commons, where Parliament was treated to the honoring of a Ukrainian war hero, right? You got to see there in the intro, 98-year-old Yaroslav Hunga, and brought in by the Speaker of the House there, Anthony Rota, and this wasn't just any Ukrainian war hero, this was an SS Warfare member, a Nazi, right? Pretty hilarious shit, but this comes in the midst of, leftists, globalists, and right-wing in name only, warmongering for, Nazi entities in that, region of the world as we speak. And, of course, the Canadian Prime Minister, the Cuban hobbit himself, Justin Trudeau, calling protesters and basically all political dissidents Nazis or akin to, right? And his reaction for this national embarrassment?
Obviously, it's extremely upsetting that this happened. The speaker has acknowledged his mistake and has apologized. But this is something that is deeply embarrassing to the Parliament of Canada and, by extension, to all Canadians. I think particularly of Jewish MPs and all members of the Jewish community across the country who are commemorating Yom Kippur today. I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation, and continue our steadfast and unequivocal support for Ukraine, as we did last week with announcing further measures to stand with Ukraine in Russia's illegal war against it.
Well, it's be weary of Russian propagandas, of course, right? Nonsense. This guy's a fucking clown, and an effeminate one at that. I don't know how any Western free country could look at this guy with respect, let alone elect him as some kind of quote-unquote leader, right? But it seems like, this could be one big, unvetted coincidence. Hell no, man. Apparently, the Hobbit's stepdad, ex-Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, knew quite well there was a sizable Nazi population in the country. The Parliament there being warned since the late 40s to watch the flow from Eastern Europe, completely being unheeded with the senior Pierre in the 80s stating that he didn't prosecute these people in fear of inflaming Eastern European expats and exacerbating tensions between them and the Jewish communities, right? But estimates of over 2,000 Nazis having died, or currently live in Canada. As we, obviously now know, there's a minimum a handful of survivors left. And where they were able to, go on to have, quite a decent retirement, they weren't being prosecuted, being able to live in the open, as only 3 have ever known to be prosecuted or deported by, the Canadian government there. And we all know about Argentina being a hot spot for settlers escaping, their Nazi punishments. But, apparently Nazi hunters, so-called, and historians refer to Canada not only as a haven, but the Western country most reluctant to deport or prosecute. Real shit. So it's always hypocrisy and projection with these lizards. Those who speak the loudest are almost always the guilty. You guys tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you coming by. Smell you later.